Hello, everyone. Welcome to Among the Lilies. I am happy to chat with you today. I was going to record a couple days ago, but I was having a really bad day. And so I was like, tomorrow I'll record because I'll feel better. And then I didn't. And then I'm like, tomorrow. But tomorrow will never come. So I'm just going to record today, even though I'm not feeling great. I just want to thank you so much, all of you, for your prayers and your support. Um, I I find it really hard to be sick and not feeling well and my brain not working well. And I don't know. You guys have just been amazing and beautiful. I read something the other day. I don't even know where I got it from, but it was Pope Francis talking. And someone said, I don't know if it's because he's suffering and can't even stand and it's the pain that's where he's coming from. But he just so beautifully um, kind of spoke into our brokenness. And so I shared it on Instagram. So some of you may have seen it. Hello from Oregon. Hello. So some of you may have seen it on Instagram, but I know not all of y'all are over on Instagram. So I wanted to go over it with you and just kind of share some of the ways that it really just touched my heart and is inspiring me. Um, I'm on new medication. So I am working through, I put up a picture yesterday on Instagram and I said that I was at the chiropractor trying to get some pain relief. And most everyone was amazing and beautiful and really nice and saying, I'm praying for you. I also have mast cell activation syndrome, or I also have chronic Lyme or EDS or IBS or endometriosis, whatever, the plethora of things. And they're beautiful and really nice. But one person was like, you should go to a real doctor. A chiropractor's not going to help you. And I was like, I go to a real doctor too. Like, I, I think when people are sick and it's been like a chronic thing and it's been going on for a long time, it's hard for others to have patience with you. Um, and I get that. I get that. Like I know when I went and I hung out with my family over the summer in Texas, and one of my sisters like, how come you didn't tell us like how bad you are? Like just the way I was moving, I was just in a lot of pain. I'm like, it gets old to be like, oh yeah, I'm still feeling really sick. No one wants that. No one wants to hear it, and no one enjoys sharing it unless you're like in the people's daily lives and it's like, hey, I need help. Like I was at a co-op on Tuesday, and it's a great co-op. It's not a drop-off program. You stay there with your kids. It's Charlotte Mason. It's lovely. And I was trying to hold it together through it. And one of the other ladies just looked at me and was like, Cameron, you don't look like you're doing well. Are you okay? And I was like, no, I feel really horrible. I'm on new medication and the die-off's really bad. And my body, I don't know if it's the Epstein Barr or whatever thing. There's something. So they're trying to kill off bad things in my body, and my body's just not handling it well. And I'm taking things to help with the die off, but like everything just hurts more, and I'm needing to wear my brace more. And it's just, I'm really inflamed, a lot of inflammation. So you could probably see in my face, I have like really big eyes and not big eyes. Big eyes are a good thing. I have really big bags under my eyes and just puffiness and swollenness. And I got to the point where I was like, I need to go home. And I was like, no, I need to be here, and I kept like, I don't know, kind of arguing with myself, like, I can do it. And I'm like, I can't. And so I told a friend, she's like, go home. I'll take your kids, after. And it was good. And like, I literally just got in bed and couldn't move, until that evening. I think I came down at dinner time. And, there's days like that. But I read this and my prayer's been like I'm okay suffering, but I don't like my family and the people around me suffering. Like that's really hard. I think that's one of the worst things when it is like a chronic thing that keeps coming up. Um, yeah, it's one of those. Hi everyone coming in. Thank you for saying hi. Yes, I do follow a low histamine diet. I am very strict with what I eat. My list of things that I eat are smaller than the list of things that I don't eat. And I do have a really good, in fact, I think I'm going to have her on. I have this doctor. So I was seeing specialists in Cleveland Clinic for a long time, and a lot of different specialists to get more diagnosis. And I'm seeing like a MD doctor, but it's functional medicine as well. And so I take so many different supplements, but I overreact to things. So even like an herbal supplement, it's like, okay, why don't you take in 20 drops of these? I have to start with one drop. And sometimes I react so badly to that one drop. It like takes me forever to build up. And so I am, and I have medicine, I have prescriptions that I'm on. So I'm doing like all the things. I have like a red light therapy over there that does ultraviolet light, red light. So I'm doing a lot, and I'm educating myself, and I'm learning more, and I appreciate it. I appreciate all the input I get from people. I really do. And it, and a part of me like doesn't want to really share what's going on with me, but I feel like that's my thing. Like just being real and sharing. And if I don't know, I feel like I need to share like the health stuff as well, because that's so much of where I'm coming from, you know, or when I have times that I can't be doing my interviews, like just because I'm having a flare up and everything hurts and it's rough. I want to share that with y'all, but I want to share, I want to share this, I think it was like a speech. I don't even know where it was. So if any of you know where it is, feel free to let me know. I think maybe I came across it on Facebook, but um, Pope Francis just said some really amazing, beautiful things, and I just want to share it. I feel like when someone says something stupid, we're all like, oh my goodness, did you hear what he said? And we're all talking about it. This stupid thing that some politician said, or that our Holy Father said, or some pastor said. And we're really big to like scream it from the rooftops when someone says something dumb. But when someone says something good, we don't often, or if there's a scandal that's broke, we're all kind of talk about it and know. And I think we need more positive things. So I, yeah, I'm not in a great positive mood. So, but I'm trying to put on a smile and be loving and patient. But I wanted to read this to you and just kind of go through it. So he starts by, Pope Francis starts by saying, you can have flaws, be anxious, and even be angry, but do not forget that your life is the greatest enterprise in the world. Only you can stop it from failing. Um, our lives are amazing. Like they are such a gift. Even when we think about the worst time that we've ever been in, whether it was like COVID lockdown or right now with chronic pain and just like moving your head a little bit, everything hurts. You have stabbing pains, um, a migraine, and the lights are just killing your head, or your loved one has just died. Whatever it is, like it can get bad, but it's still a really good life. Like my life is so amazing, and I'm so thankful for it. And I need to remember to stay positive and stay on top of it. So I find when I'm like in times of turmoil to like keep like a gratitude journal, or just to keep smiling and saying like, praise God. Like, okay, Lord, by your grace, praise God. And turning to him and being like, all right, Lord, I can't do it. You've got to do it, you know? And just turning to him and asking for the grace, because the Lord didn't say that he would give you the strength to do all things. He said he'll give you the strength through him, through Christ. I can do all things. So I don't need to be able to do it all on my own, but with him, we will be able to do it all, right? So you need Christ. And yeah, and in moments of anger and anxiety, and when we're focusing on all our flaws and shortcomings, it's harder, but that's when we really need to turn to the Lord that much more. You are appreciated, admired, and loved by so many. I think we can forget this. So like as I shared, I posted this thing on Instagram, and honestly, there was like, I don't even know how many, like 20 comments, and they were lovely and beautiful. And there was one that was like, go to a real doctor. Chiropractors aren't going to help. And I don't even think it was that negative, but like, that's the tone I read it in, right? Or Matt will like, honestly, I tell him he's not allowed to read his YouTube comments because you guys are great. I'm like, my people are so nice, but his people, they're not. I mean, some of y'all listen to him and I'm sure are nice, but I find that he gets a lot of negative things. And I've heard someone say, if you, I think it was a professor who said, if you don't have anyone criticizing you, or giving you a hard time or upset with you, then you don't stand for anything. Like you need to have a backbone, and you need to have things that you stand for. And then some people will love you and affirm you for it, and others will hate you for it. Christ said, they hated me first. You know, you're in good company. So yeah, just remember that. But Matt will read like 200 comments, and most of them are amazing, but one's really negative. That's the only one he hears. Like that goes straight to his heart. And I don't think it's him. I think it's all of us. Like I think the negative thing just happens to stand out more. But remembering that we are appreciated, admired, and loved by so many. So I know like my kids love me so much, and they're so great. And I tried to record this a minute ago, and I wasn't gonna do it live, and I'm just doing it live because if I mess up or if they make loud music, then that's fine. One of them's playing the piano, others playing music, and it was just crazy and loud. I'm like, oh my goodness. I felt like Laura Horn. I don't know if you watched her. Laura Horn's a good friend of mine. She has a new YouTube channel, and she she just started it, and she's in her laundry room, and I think the washing machine's running, and she's just like, "Get out of my office! I love you! Get out of my office!" And she just starts losing it and yelling at her kids. And I feel like that's sometimes how I feel, like internally, and I'm like, these kids love me. Like they are for me. They're not against me. My husband loves me and is for me. There's so many people that that love me, and I am so blessed to have good friends and good fellowship and a good family. So remember, you are appreciated, even if people aren't saying it to your face. I'm sure they say it behind your back all the time. We're so appreciative for you. You are appreciated, you are admired, and you are loved by so many. Remember that being happy is not having a sky without storm, a road without accident, a job without effect, a relationship without disappointment. And I think that's so true. Like I think about the sky and it's so glorious and good. But when there's a thunderstorm or poor Florida, again, another tropical storm, another hurricane, and you're like, we haven't even recovered from the last one. And it's so easy to just be like, the negative. Look at these hurricanes, look at the storms, all this devastation. And it's not to belittle that, but so much of the year, we're freezing cold up here in the north, and y'all down there are like living it up in the sunshine and the beautiful beaches. And so it's like, we need to be aware and like take a step back and be like, okay, there's really good times in the sky as well as the storm, and same with a road without accidents. Like accidents happen, but we need to step back and look more, I don't know, more clearly, I guess. To be happy is to stop feeling like a victim and become the author of your own fate. Okay, I feel like we need this so much right now. We live in a victim mentality world, okay? Everybody is a victim. Well, it's my fault because they did this, or right now after, I know a lot of y'all are all over the world, but at least here in the States, we just had our midterm elections. And it's like, well, if the Democrats had not done X, Y, and Z, or the Republicans were better because of this, that, and the other, like it's, I'm a victim. Like I could have done this except for that person said this about me, and look at that person and they're judging me. It's because they hate women. It's like, well, no, maybe you did something that wasn't okay. And that's why they're talking to you like that. It's not necessarily because you're a woman, or it's not necessarily because of the color of your skin. But we live in a world that we're teaching people. We are raising victims, and we're teaching people. Someone told me they were at a restaurant, a really nice restaurant, and someone lost it and was yelling at their significant other and basically saying, well, you'll buy me that really expensive bottle of wine when I'm done with this surgery, because then I'll have this part of my body and then you won't dislike me. And it's like a really nice restaurant. And I'm like, oh my goodness, is this really going on? Like it was someone that had some mental stuff going on, and they just kind of lost it on their partner in the middle of a restaurant. And it's like, they're allowed to do that because they're the victim. And we live in a society where it's okay if you're the victim, and we all have to bow down and apologize. Who was it? Was it Kamala Harris? I don't know. Someone recently apologized because they accidentally took down their pronouns on their, whatever it was, Twitter, Instagram, their social media page. They had pronouns, and apparently they didn't put them, and someone got upset. And they're like, oh, I'm so sorry. They must have somehow fallen down by accident. Like, you don't need to apologize because you didn't do something. Like if you said you were going to do something, so if you said, I will pick you up at this time for you to have, I don't know, dental surgery or whatever, then yeah, if you don't do it, you need to apologize. That's something that you said that you were going to do and you didn't do. That's not okay. You need to apologize. We all make mistakes. Ask for forgiveness. But we shouldn't always feel like we have to apologize for every single thing because of the way we look or something we've said or not said. Yeah, this cancel culture is not good. And we need people to know, in order to be happy, you cannot be a victim, okay? To be happy, and this isn't me, this is, well, I'm saying that as well, but Pope Francis says to be happy is to stop feeling like a victim and become the author of your own fate. In Australia, they have this saying, you're old enough and ugly enough to do it yourself. They're not saying that you're ugly. Well, they are. But I remember the first time Matt said it to me, I was like super offended. And he would say it to the kids. I'm like, don't say it. They're not ugly. And he's like, I'm not saying they're ugly, but it's like, you're old enough and ugly enough to do it yourself. Like, figure it out. Like, you're a big kid. You can do this. A 3-year-old that spills their Cheerios and throws a fit, it's like, okay, developmentally, it's okay that you're throwing a fit, but I'm going to get down, look the 3-year-old in the eye, and be like, hey, it's okay that you spilled the Cheerios, but now we need to clean it up. Here's a dustpan. I'll help you do it. Let's do it together. And for a 3-year-old, it's rational that they're throwing a fit. They calm down, they sweep it up, they're fine. We're over it. But we have 30-year-olds that are throwing a fit and yelling and crying and screaming. And we're like, whoa, you can clean it up. It's not that big of a deal. It's like, no, I hate you. And they're like throwing a fit. We're not being tolerant enough of them. In the name of tolerance, they are allowed to yell at us and tell us all the things that we're not doing right. And that's just not okay. Like, this is behavior of a little kid. I've been going through some training, and one of the things they talk about is traumas. And they say that developmentally, you may be looking at someone that is like 12 years old. Physically, they're a 12-year-old. But because of immense trauma they went through when they were young, internally, they act more like a 2-year-old or a 4-year-old. And I think we live in a society of people like that. They may look like grown-ups, but they don't act like grown-ups. Okay, we need to put on our big girl pants and stop feeling like a victim and become the author of our own fate. It's walking through deserts, but being able to find the oasis deep in the soul. Yeah, walking through hard times of suffering and pain and sickness, whatever it is, but finding that beautiful little oasis deep within, right? Yeah, we need to, this is where I think it's so important to take time to pray and meditate and just take time with the Lord and see I feel like with the eyes of the Holy Spirit, we can see the good, we can see the beauty and the peace and the calm. And the more, and I am a very, well, I would say go-go person, but I'm like sitting nowadays a lot. But like more of a thinking about everything, going and just moving a lot. But they talk about like a water, and when the more settled the water is, the more you can see a reflection in it. So taking our deep breaths. This is where I really like to use the Jesus prayer. Because of my POTS, I have issues with my heart rate and blood pressure. And so before I get out of the bed in the morning, and then anytime that I'll just all of a sudden feel very lightheaded, like I'm going to faint or pass out. And so I do the Jesus prayer. I breathe in through my nose, take a long, deep breath, and then breathe out of my mouth. Jesus Christ, Son of God, have mercy on me, a sinner. And I do it over and over again. And I almost immediately feel like my blood pressure is like better and my heart is better. And it's like settling and calming and good. And I think it's important that we do that to find the deep oasis in our soul. To be happy, we need to thank God every morning for the miracle of life. Just the fact that we woke up, even if we were in pain, even if we were up all night with a screaming baby, like just the fact that we maybe shut our eyes for 10 minutes, we need to smile and be appreciative and say, thank you, Lord, for the gift of life. Like, life is huge. Another day that we get to live. That will help us be happier. It's kissing your children. It's cuddling your parents. It's having poetic moments with your friends, even when they hurt us. So even if someone's done something mean to you, it's forgiving them and loving them and hugging them and snuggling with them. I love this. I think that in my bad moments of parenting, I'll like lose it at one of my kids, and it's not okay. And when I'm in pain, I am more likely to do that. I think it's because I'm like naturally like at this level, and so my boiling over point, I'm past my boiling over point, so I'll just like lash out, and it's not okay. And I always, by God's grace, apologize and ask for forgiveness. And I'm trying to bring this level further down so I can have more patience, because I need it. I need a lot more patience. But it's apologizing. And I find young kids are really, actually all my kids are very quick to forgive. And I'm so appreciative. And they'll come and snuggle with me. I'll be like upset with them 1 minute. The next minute they want to snuggle and read a book. And it's just such a gift. And like looking at that and letting them cuddle with us. It doesn't matter if they're 2 years old or 12 years old. Let your child cuddle with you and embrace them and love that. enjoy beautiful poetic moments with your friends. I think so often we have an amazing moment or like a beautiful scene and we're like, oh, I should take a picture and put it on Instagram. It's okay to do that every now and again, but don't do it every time. Like maybe only do it every 5 times and just enjoy the moment. Just appreciate this is amazing. I love this. And I'm just going to soak it in. I'm just going to enjoy it. I don't need to share it with the whole world right now. Okay. Being happy is letting the creature that lives, no, letting the creation, no. Being happy is letting the creature? Creature. My brain's not working and I can't read, sorry. That lives in each of us live, free, joyful, and simple. Being happy is letting the creature that lives in each of us live free, joyful, and simple. Yeah, that makes sense, right? That makes sense. Sorry, my brain is just mush. But yeah, I think in times that I try to keep my life simple, it's easier to take part in joyful things. It's easier to just embrace the joy. I don't know if you're like this, but like if I go like we really like Airbnb when we travel. And like if I'm in a hotel room, it's like, I don't know, it's fine. We can stay in a hotel room, but it's like very bland. So it's not just about being simple, but there's something being simple and joyful. We rented this Airbnb and it was just like a tiny cottage and there was a wood burning stove, a bookshelf, and a couple of games. And it was just lovely. And there wasn't stuff everywhere. Like it was really peaceful and just really good. And it was like, it was easy to find the joy in that. Where I've been at other people's houses, or I rented an Airbnb one time and it was a hoarder's house. It was horrible. I was like, I can't even sit in this room. There was so much stuff everywhere. Like it just stressed my body out being in it. So I think there's something to the simplicity of that. You have the maturity to be able to say, I've made mistakes. It's having the courage to say, I'm sorry. That is so true. I've done an episode before on conflict resolution, and it's not good just to have a conflict, but it is really good to have a conflict and then a resolution. So saying like, I've made a horrible mistake here. I am so sorry. Please forgive me. And letting the other person forgive you. So it's not just a conflict. Conflicts help us grow. They're hard to have, but they're good to have. I had one today with someone it was really hard. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I really like you. I think you're a great guy and I appreciate all that you do. But these things are not okay. And it went so well and he was so receptive and it was like, okay, great. Now we can better work together to resolve this situation. Yeah, so do it. Like have the courage to speak up and say that you're sorry, especially when you're the one that's done something wrong. I would say it's easier, but I'm very, I don't know. I don't know if it's because I'm so choleric or I don't know what it is. I have a hard time admitting when I'm wrong, but I try to, by God's grace. I'm like, all right, Lord, give me the grace to just say, I'm sorry. Having the sense to say, I need you, like telling others that you need them. Like right now, we're in the process of redoing our kitchen and our pantry is a big hot mess because they're building us a pantry, but there's all this food that needs to be moved back and forth. And so I have a great guy who's helping work on the house and his wife also suffers from chronic pain and a lot of the same health issues that I have. And so he just moved it. And I was like, I can do it if you need me to. And he's like, no, you shouldn't do it. I'm like, well, I can get the kids to do it because I can't do it. It'll wipe me out. But he just did it for me, which was great. And now moving the stuff back in, I'm going to get the kids to help. I can't do it on my own. I need others and I need more help than I normally do. It's hiring, if you can afford it, hiring a cleaner to come in and just take one thing off your plate and be like, okay, this is what I'm going to get done. It's having the ability to say, I love you. It's so important to tell the people that you love them. May your life become a garden of opportunity of happiness, that in spring may be a lover of joy and in winter a lover of wisdom. I love this, that your life can be a garden of opportunities for happiness. We're doing a nature study with our kids and I'm loving it. We are taking all these kids to a park not far from here. And we just look at the awe and the beauty and the birds and we listen and we look for footprints and we just observe the beauty that is the garden, that is this park. And I love that. Like I have a lot of plants in my main room downstairs where I sit. Well, you can see the lilies behind me. I love beautiful things. And I think there's something to nurturing them and seeing the good and the beautiful in it. So I love, may your life become a garden of opportunities for happiness. It's so good. Um, oh, someone on here is actually a cleaner. Oh, great. Well, feel free in the comment section to give advice for people. My thing is, I have a good cleaner now, and I feel bad that I don't have the energy to clean. And so, like, I try to tidy for them ahead of time, but on days that I can't, I'm like, I'm so sorry. And they're really great about being like, it's okay. Like, we just won't get as much cleaning done but when I tidy, they get more cleaning done. But yeah, okay, let's see what else. And when you make a mistake, start over, because only then will you be in love with your life. We all make mistakes. It's okay. Start over. Admit you're flawed. Admit that you're not perfect. Only then will you be able to love. Only then will you be in love with your life. You'll discover that being happy isn't having a perfect life. In fact, I don't think if you had what you thought was a perfect life, I don't think you could be happy. I don't think you truly could, because I think you'd be trying to keep all the plates spinning and keep everything looking perfect all the time. We see this with celebrities, people that are really rich and wealthy. They're not happy. That's why they often turn to drugs, or turn to another plastic surgery, another thing. They're trying to look better and better and better, or have the nicest things. And that doesn't bring you happiness. That brings you unrest, I think. And yeah, it's easy to like look at your neighbor and be like, you know what, their life does look more peaceful. Like they have 2 cars and I'm struggling and I just have 1 car. If I had 2 cars, then we wouldn't need to, work out schedules as much, or I don't know. There are things, money can help, but then it doesn't solve the problem, right? There's other problems that will come with it. So yeah, being happy is not having a perfect life. I don't think you can actually be happy with a perfect life, because a perfect life doesn't really exist. I think it's an ideal. It's something that you're trying to live up to and you just can't. But use tears to irrigate tolerance. Use your defeats to train your patience. It's so true. These are moments where we can grow in virtue, right? Where something goes wrong or we say something that we shouldn't say and we have to ask for forgiveness. It is humbling. That's one of the things I like about confession. I need to go. My kids desire to go more often than me. And I think it's because they're being raised with it, where I never went except for like my first right before my first Holy Communion. And then it was like, anytime you do something really bad, like murder someone, I was like, I never murdered anyone. I don't need to go. And so I don't even think I had a second confession until I was probably in high school and got involved in a youth group. And it was just this hurdle I had to overcome, where my kids love it. They're like, oh, I feel so good. They were talking about, at dinner time, we often go through and say what we're grateful for about the day or our favorite thing about the day. And I think it was my 13-year-old. It was either my 10-year-old or 13-year-old said, I'm so grateful I went to confession. I just feel so good. I feel like everything is like brighter and more beautiful. And I just feel lighter. I feel like I can almost fly. It's like, that is awesome. I'm like, that's how we should feel after confession. And it was beautiful. And I wish I felt that freedom every time, but I think it's so good. Use your mistakes with the sincerity of this sculptor. Use your mistakes with the sincerity of the sculpture. So I think it's like when someone's sculpting, like I have this great mug. Look at that. Isn't that a great example? Isn't this gorgeous? I love beautiful. So this is my Among the Lilies mug that a lot of you patrons have. So all of my patrons get this beautiful mug and I love it. It's beautiful. It's made in the US of A. It's handmade. At least that's what it says on the bottom. But almost all of them look the same. The glaze will be a little different. But I feel like I love it. It's really beautiful. But I love this one even more. And I think it's because there's imperfections. Like this potter is amazing. I don't even know who he is, but I know he's a guy because I met the brother of the potter who gave me this cup, and I just held it and I'm like, this is the most amazing, beautiful cup. I love blue. And so you can tell I really like blue. I have 2 cups of tea, by the way, because I forgot I had a cup of tea. I lost it, couldn't find it. And that's part of the stuff with I feel like my brain just doesn't work and it's hard to think of things. I'm like, where did I put it? I have no idea. So I pour myself another one. But I think that the one that's imperfect, I think is even more beautiful because it's so unique. And I think that when we make mistakes, we need to see that, I don't know, the Lord uses that to sculpt us and make us even more beautiful. What is it? The refine as fire. Something about clay in the potter's hands. Like when we break or when there's something, the potter will use that and make it. Sorry, I'm trying to see if someone's yelling or crying because if I end abruptly. I think they're playing. I think it's okay. Okay, let's see. Oh, use pain to tune into pleasure. I love this. Praying that the Lord would use my pain to let me enjoy more. Like let it become pleasurable. Not that the pain's ever, oh, this feels great now. Not like that, but redemptive, I think. Like using the pain and saying, okay, I offer this up for, like, I think like there's something really beautiful about suffering. I've had friends whose loved ones had died and they've watched them die. And there's something really beautiful with them accompanying them in their last moments of life and seeing that they don't waste an ounce of that suffering. They are offering it up the whole time. And there's a joy and a beauty. And it is hard in the midst of suffering, like in the moment of suffering right now. This is really, really hard. I cannot, by my own strength, get past it. Like, I don't know, so much of it is mental where it's like trying to, especially when you're dealing with something that's like, you take a step forward and then 2 steps back. You know, it's exhausting. I think a lot of my health issues happened when I had a miscarriage that ended with the D&C. And so it was like a month of bleeding. It was, no, not a month. It was like 10 days of bleeding, not a month. But like I had a pregnancy that was really rough. I was really sick with. And then I had 10 days of losing the baby. And then I had a D&C. And then I went septic and ended up in the ICU. I was in the ICU for 10 days, but I was in the hospital for a month. And that was 5 years ago. And when I came out of the hospital, I was just crazy sick and my body just didn't work. And so, I just got, really sick. And I think that's when the Lyme and the, all the things, all the chronic stuff like really flared up. And I've been to so many doctors and so many specialists. And for a while I had to live on these Meyer cocktail IV supplement stuff and my immune system really. And so I think I'm getting better, but I can't quite see the end finish line. I do have these weird diseases, genetic diseases that I'll always have, but I'm like, I've had them my whole life, even when I didn't know that I had them. But they weren't as painful. So I think there's something with the state in which I'm in right now that the inflammation and the pain is just so much greater. And things like washing my hair is exhausting. And going up and down the stairs like wipes me out. Like I feel like I ran a marathon where I never ran a marathon, but I could have before. Or like I'm more exhausted. Like this morning, sitting up in bed was more exhausting than being in the final championship soccer game where like I ran so much or doing like a 10K. Like I was more exhausted sitting up in bed this morning, which is ridiculous, right? So it's hard to like see the end game, but yeah, I'm trying to use the pain to tune into pleasure and just really, I think it's a combination of through offering it up and just choosing to let Christ fill that, and then just tapping into the grace, like really, really needing the grace. I wish that there was like this big bucket of grace that I have now, but I really do think it's only in the moment am I given the grace, So it's like I need to be humble enough to say, I need that grace now, and just living on that. Use obstacles to open the windows of intellect. Never give up. Never give up. Never give up. Above all, never give up on the people that love you. Never give up on being happy because life is an incredible spectacle. Okay, That's so good. It's such good advice. Way to go, Pope Francis. Life is good. Like, we should never give up. There are moments that I want to give up, that it's hard and it's a lot. Not like give up on life. I'm not suicidal. I mean, maybe you are. Maybe you're listening to this and you are suicidal. Don't give up. Persevere. Ask for help. Get help. Um, but I think sometimes when we're doing something that's hard or where we're suffering, it's just like, I just want to give up. Like, I don't think euthanasia is okay at all, but I get where people are like, I'm done. I'm done. I don't want to go through it anymore. And they've given up. And it's sad, but I get where they're coming from. But we need to support each other so we don't give up. We need to take courage and persevere. And we need to not give up on people that we love. Just because someone said something that hurt you or maybe did something to hurt you, we can't cut them out of our lives. We need to love them. We need to choose to forgive them. And we need to not give up on them and keep fighting for them. This doesn't mean you need to let people walk all over you. Like, this doesn't mean if you have a family member who is addicted to drugs, you need to keep giving them money. That's not it. No, but you need to not give up on them and love them. Okay, let's see. Yeah, that's it. So anyhow, that's some wonderful things that Pope Francis said that really, I don't know, really touched my heart, that I just wanted to share with you. And I think it's really good advice. So I'm just going to tell you, wherever you are, I know a lot of y'all suffer from sickness as well. Thank you for trusting me with your stories. And yeah, I'm glad to know that I am not alone and you are not alone. I think that when you're in it, like, it feels like you're alone. You feel like you're the only one. Oh, actually I have a shirt on. I'll put a little plug in for Reformed. Reformed wellness is really great. And so this talks about holiness, get it? Being whole, not just holiness, but oh wait, which end? I don't know. But it's this great online community, and you go through this Reform class with other people, and it talks about Christ-centered living. In fact, I'll probably have Jackie on and let her share more of what it's about, but it's nice to know that you're not alone. Other people are going through it. And we all are in need for, we all need to be reformed, whether we're suffering from physical things or mental things or whatever it is. It could be, yeah, any of the things. But we need to put Christ in the center of our life and focus on other things and really find healing and wholeness. And I think just letting others know you're not alone. I know I'm not alone. I have a great, wonderful, beautiful support community. I know not everyone has that. But we will be your community. So if you are suffering and you need prayers, write it down below. We will pray for you. We will carry you. My Among the Lilies, my patrons, I have a Marco Polo group with a handful of women that are so amazing and beautiful. There's also a Facebook group, and people just support each other and love each other, and people have become real life friends through this. And I just, I love it. It is such a gift. And oh yay, someone else has EDS. I mean, not yay. I'm sorry that you also have EDS. Oh, Sarah just suffered a miscarriage back in July and felt so totally lost. Sarah, I'm so sorry. Yeah, it is rough. I've had a couple miscarriages, and it's so hard. I'm so sorry for your loss. I will pray for you. And I will ask your little baby in heaven to pray for you as well and intercede for you. I ask my little ones in heaven to pray and intercede for me and my kiddos. This person has EDS too. Without it, I don't know if I would have been able to reflect on the meaning and suffering and become Christian as early in life as I did. Give thanks. Praise God. Yeah, that's huge. Sometimes we need that suffering to become a better person. And I think that's part of like embracing the cross. Like, we all have different crosses. I think some people, their marriage is their cross. Having a spouse that maybe struggles with an addiction or is just absent, or other people being single is the cross. The fact that they don't have a spouse or children, like, that is their cross. Some people it's physical sickness, other people it's mental sickness, and it's really, really hard. And yeah, we all have different crosses, but we all have a cross to carry. And don't give up. be happy, seek after happiness, not happiness in the world sense, getting all the things, but in the true sense of happiness. And it comes from uh, peace within, which comes from the Lord. So I'm just going to lead us in a closing prayer, if y'all don't mind joining me. Heavenly Father, I thank you so much for loving us. I thank you so much for our Heavenly Father that you use to bless these words that have spoken to my heart and probably those listening. Give us your joy, give us your peace, give us your happiness, especially those that are suffering, that are united to your sacred heart, Jesus. Give us the grace and the fiat. Give us the ability to say yes to you over and over. Let us see the good. Let us see what you're doing to redeem us and to make us whole. And we just give you permission. We desire your will more than anything else. For those that feel lost and alone, Jesus, let them know you are with them. You are right there with them. You are suffering. You know what it's like to be alone. In the Garden of Gethsemane, you were so alone and you were so stressed out. You literally sweat blood. You were so stressed and alone. So you know how we're feeling. I pray, Lord, that you be with each of us in this moment and draw us close to you. We ask all this in your name, Jesus. Amen. All right. God bless. Bye, ladies. Talk to you later.